Right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's Mindful Moment session. My name is Jean, and it's an honor to be able to host these sessions for you all. So, this week, we are going to be focusing on the topic of keeping an open mind and how we can explore this through the mindful quality of a beginner's mind. So, what is a beginner's mind? Well, a beginner's mind is seeing things as if for the first time with openness, receptivity, and curiosity. Seeing with fresh eyes can bring back a sense of wonder and awe to people, situations, and moments that we usually take for granted and have become ordinary, which then invites gratitude and joy by seeing with fresh eyes. So a beginner's mind is one of the 10 qualities of mindfulness that we have. So keeping an open mind, a curious, receptive mind is the birthplace of ideas, innovations, and collaboration, and is a reason why we do want to try to keep an open mind. What does having an open mind mean to you? Most of us like to think of ourselves as being open-minded and flexible in our thinking and adaptive in our points of view and opinions. But what you see and how you see it actually might have more room for growth than you realize. For example, you can take labeling. When associations come to mind, when you hear terms and labels such as deadline, code, boss, or status report, do certain assumptions arise? We all have subconscious filters that sort of influence our perception, and there are these underlying stereotypes and attitudes and also prejudices that affect our judgment and behavior, even if we are not conscious or if we're not very aware of that. So the first step to cultivating an open mind is observing our tendency to judge. So this goes along with this slide, which is talking about getting to know our biases, because once we observe our tendency to judge, we become more aware and we better understand our biases that we may not have noticed before that influenced our thinking. So one way you can do this is, for example, a scenario walking through the hallways at work or at school, and sort of notice your inner chatter. What is your mind, what is the inner chatter in your mind? Because the quick, brief labels and judgments that come to your mind that you assign to things that you see around you, such as different objects, people, places, teams, and all that you encounter. Do you feel that you are more biased or favor some people more than others? And so getting to know our biases and judgments is the first step to keep sort of on that path to keeping that open mind or opening up our mind. So the next thing is that we want to try to release these judgments. So you can acknowledge the limiting voices in your head throughout the day and do your best to suspend each one. You can notice how your tendency to be cynical or favor certain people affects the sort of inner chatter or narrative that is unfolding inside of your mind. And finally, we can embrace curiosity, because with having an open mind, we are trying to experience things as if for the first time. And we're curious each time because we see something different each time with these fresh eyes, and invites wonder and awe, as we said earlier. So as you practice being more receptive Maybe you can ask questions or listen to ideas and look for opportunities. All right, now that we have, oops, sorry about that. Now that we have gone through some of these sort of suggestions for keeping an open mind and what it actually means to keep an open mind, we will be transitioning to this week's mindful practice session. So let me share my sound and okay, and enjoy. All right, so now that we are finished with our mindful practice of the week, we will transition to our discussion section. So thinking about the questions, what does having an open mind mean to you? How did the pictures and the sounds remind you of being open-minded, if they did in any way? And what are some more ideas of how to cultivate an open mind? So for me, having an open mind to me means um have it's a lot of overlaps with a beginner's mind. So trying to see things as if you were seeing them for the first time, with as less or fewer, with as trying to eliminate as much of the biases or prejudices that you may already have, and um, trying to go in with like a clean slate. And also, having an open mind means that you attentively listen to others instead of coming to your own conclusion first. So those are some characteristics of having an open mind that I believe that, in my opinion, are some important characteristics. How did the pictures and the sounds remind you of being open-minded? Well, I've always thought about nature as sort of mind-opening because it's so vast and with the forests, and it's like you're opening your mind to the natural world and sort of enjoying yourself out in nature compared to what I do every day, which when I'm not outside, which is stay inside and probably do some work, right? So going outside will, for me, sort of represents this transition to like mind opening our mind to like nature. But of course, when we're inside, we can also have an open mind and try to experience things with an open mind. What are some more ideas of how to cultivate an open mind? So I'm going to let you all think about this one. We did go over some ideas of how to cultivate an open mind earlier, where we talked about first identifying our judgments and biases, getting to know them, trying to release these judgments, and also embracing curiosity and asking questions and being receptive to other people's opinions as well as um, the what's outside, and also observing your internal chatter is definitely something that can help with identifying those judgments and biases. Right, we're going to end with a quote that relates to what we talked about this week. A mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it is not open. Thank you all so much for joining me for this week's Mindful Moment session. I hope you all had a great time or took something away from this, and I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. Thank you.